Hello and welcome to LMU Tri-State News. Filling in for Ashley Hurley, I'm Adam Haley. Thanks for joining us. A fireworks superstore in Campbell County was destroyed in a Sunday afternoon fire. Both north and southbound lanes of Interstate 75 in Campbell County were shut down, causing several miles of traffic congestion. There were no injuries reported, and according to the owner, there were 5 employees and 8 customers inside when the fire sparked approximately at 4:15 p.m. Fireworks could be seen going off, and thick clouds of black smoke filled the air while surrounding firefighters responded. A nearby gas and service station was shut down due to continuous explosions. 14 fire departments responded with an overall of 65 people working to contain the fire. Investigators are still working to determine what caused the fire. It's been several years in the making for a children's center in Claiborne County, but now the ribbon is cut and they're ready to get to work. Everyday officers work with children who are victims of child abuse in various forms, and for several years they've had no place to go in Claiborne County. But just last week the ribbon cutting was held to open the doors to the Children's Alliance Center for Claiborne County. To tell us more about this important new staple for the community, here's Sheriff David Ray and Detective Tammy Reagan.
Abuse starts very early, and whether it is abuse or whether it is not abuse, that's the persons that are be working out of this office to determine. I have an officer, an investigator, Tammy Reagan, who will be working closely with Children's Services as she has in the past 6 years or so, and we're proud to have a part of that.
Well, I work closely with DCS and we work together with Children's Center. If a report comes in, then DCS contacts me. We stay in close contact. We'll go out, investigate, see the children, see what's going on, see what kind of services they need. It really helps a lot. We're really proud to have a center here.
The condition of a motorcyclist who was severely injured in an accident Monday morning is still unknown. The accident happened on Highway 33 South just before the George Brooks Memorial Bridge when a Dodge Durango pulled into the path of the motorcycle. According to the officers on the scene, the Durango struck the passenger on his right leg, causing severe injuries. The motorcycle was traveling southbound when the Durango attempted to pull out into the northbound lane. The New Tazewell Police Department requested the assistance from other departments due to the amount of traffic at that time. The names of both drivers will not be released until the investigation is completed. And this is our last week for candidate introductions for Claiborne County, and today we bring you the 2 men vying for the position of sheriff in Claiborne County. Again, we want to remind you that we are airing the candidates in alphabetical order, and the second candidate will air later in the show.
Welcome to another segment of Meet the Candidates. I'm Adam Plyler. I'm sitting with Brent Clark. And Brent, why don't you introduce yourself to the community and explain what position you're running for?
Okay, my name is Brent Clark. I'm married to Karen Clark. We live in Tazewell. We're lifelong residents of Claiborne County. We have 4 daughters, Kyla, Rayleigh, Brittany, and Ashlyn. I'm seeking the position of sheriff here in Claiborne County. I've been a law enforcement officer for the past 19 years, and that's why one of the reasons I'm running for sheriff is to be able to serve my community and serve the people of Claiborne County.
So is that what you think qualifies you to run for this position?
Well, I was one of these boys that grew up with my dad being a police officer. I got to watch him, go out every night, serving the people of Tazewell. And it's just always been a lifelong dream of mine to do this. I spent my whole 19 years, serving the people of Claiborne County. I started with the Sheriff's Department back in 1995. Went on to work Tazewell for about 8 months, and then been at City of New Tazewell for the past 17 years.
Okay. If elected, what will be your focus once in office?
My number one focus is the war on drugs. I've been a drug enforcement officer with the City of New Tazewell, so I spent several years with doing that. I'm very well trained in drug interdiction and enforcement. I think the drug problem in our community affects everybody. I mean, whether it's your friends, your co-workers, family members, it affects everybody, and it affects every type of crime that Claiborne County has, one way or the other. People are breaking in houses to feed their drug habit. People are robbing stores to get money to feed their drug habit. Pharmacies are in danger because that's where the drugs are, for people to get that. I think if you combat this drug problem that we have, then you can cut down on the crime that you have countywide.
What are some of the steps that you're going to take if elected to stop the crime?
The first thing I'm going to do is get education back into the schools on drug awareness and back in the schools. We got to educate kids on the effects of drugs and drug abuse. We're going to put K-9 officers back on the road for them to get here and do this interdiction. I'm going to have a full-time undercover narcotics team that works on arresting these drug dealers, getting them prosecuted, and show absolutely no favoritism to any drug dealer in our county. No more free rides, no more, looking the other way. Every drug dealer is at risk to go to jail for selling drugs in our community.
Mr. Clark, explain to the community, and you have the floor here, and you can even talk to that camera. Explain to the community why they should vote for you and not your counterpart.
I believe in putting my Christian values in everything that I do. I believe in being professional, honest, work hard, and that's exactly what I'm going to do when I'm sheriff of Claiborne County. I'm going to continue to maintain the jail to where it is self-sufficient and pays for itself with absolutely no burden on the taxpayers. I will generate money back into the county through the housing state and federal inmates, and I will continue to battle this drug problem that we have in our county, and I look forward to serving as your sheriff of Claiborne County.
Thanks for joining us, Mr. Clark. And that does it for another Meet the Candidate segment. We'll be back with more on LMU Tri-State News.
It is our pleasure to announce that LMU TV, WLMU FM, and WCXZ AM will be hosting a live broadcasted candidate forum next Tuesday, July 15th, and next Thursday, July 17th. The forum will be held at Mary Mars Gymnasium beginning each night at 7 p.m. The forum for the mayoral candidates will be held Tuesday, while the forum for the candidates running for district attorney and sheriff will be held Thursday. The questions that will be asked are a generalized set of questions with a live audience present. The audience will be given the opportunity to ask questions if they choose to do so. The candidates will have a 2-minute introduction, a 2-minute time frame to answer questions, and a 2-minute closing. We would like to remind the candidates and the public that this is a forum and not a debate. The purpose of this forum is meant to inform voters in the most efficient way possible. If you'd like to submit a question for consideration to be asked during the forum, let us know on our Facebook page, facebook.com/LMU-TV. Early voting in Claiborne County begins on Friday, July 18th, and this will be a good opportunity for both the public and the candidates. We hope to see you all there. Here's our final candidate introduction for our series of candidates in Claiborne County. We want to reiterate that all candidates for mayor, district attorney, and sheriff were called, and if they did not show interest or return our call, they were not featured. To conclude our series, here's our final candidate.
Welcome to a special segment of LMU Tri-State News. I'm Joseph Lewis, and here in the studio today is Sheriff David Ray. Sheriff, could you please introduce yourself to the community and tell us what position you're running for?
Joe, thank you for having me here. My name is David Ray. I am the sheriff of Claiborne County, and I'm seeking re-election for the upcoming election for the sheriff's office.
All right, and could you talk a little bit about what qualifies you to run for this position again?
Well, I'm very qualified, I can tell you that for sure. I've been sheriff for 8 years. Prior to that, I was a sessions judge here for 16 years, and I had 10 years with the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation and 5 years with the Tennessee Highway Patrol. 3 of that was with the SWAT and tactical unit. But I've been educated and trained in law enforcement all of my life. I've attended the FBI National Academy and other prestigious schools throughout the United States, the University of Louisville, Southern Police Institute, and studied homicide investigations most of my career. Now, the next sheriff of this county is going to have a lot of responsibility, and I share that responsibility with 100 employees to the people of Claiborne County. We have a justice center out there that is overcrowded. There's a good possibility that the federal government will make us put an addition onto that jail, and there has been a study to do so. I have generated the last 4 years of my term through holding federal and state prisoners there in the jail, and have turned in $7 million plus. Now that's been a big assistance to the people of this county and the taxpayers. I've done a lot of hard work with my investigators and all the patrol units, trying to keep them educated and trained to continue to do a good job here in our county, and I feel we've done the best job that money can supply to the sheriff's office through the county court. And I must say the county court has been very generous in helping us develop a sheriff's department that we can be proud of. I am running on my record. I am not running from my record. And I'm running on my qualifications and experience. So I'm not trying to tell anyone that I am not qualified for this job in any way. I'm telling you I am qualified, and I'm running on my record. Now, I want to say this. I have some of the finest trained officers in the state of Tennessee. We have been recognized by the Tennessee Corrections Institute for having the best jail, the facility that we hold prisoners in. That's a big statement to protect the people of this county from civil rights lawsuits. There's liability in being sheriff of Claiborne County. It's not easy to be sheriff of Claiborne County, and I'm a working sheriff, and I work 6 and 7 days a week. I'll continue to do that, and I'm asking the people here in Claiborne County to vote for me.
All right. And you've touched a bit on this already, but if you want to address the camera and maybe talk to the people about what your focus will be once you're elected. We've got about a minute.
There's no doubt about what I am going to continue, and that is the drug fight here in Claiborne County. The wars throughout this state, throughout the country on these drugs that are killing us, killing these young kids, middle-aged people, overdosing. We will continue to fight. We have made over 800 cases here in the last 4 years. We'll continue to be fighting those drug dealers out here on the street.
All right. Well, thank you once again, Sheriff Ray, for talking to us today. We'll be back soon.
Thank you, Joe.
Looking for efficient, compassionate, and comprehensive health care for you and your family? Visit University Medical Clinic. All providers are faculty members of LMU's DeBusk College of Osteopathic Medicine and are board certified in their specialty. Multiple specialties available including family medicine, pediatrics, OBGYN, and osteopathic manipulative medicine, with locations in Harrogate, Tazewell, and New Tazewell, and most insurance plans accepted. University Medical Clinic is here to serve you. Call 423-869-7193 for an appointment. University Medical Clinic. When you're traveling throughout the Tri-States, stay smart at Holiday Inn Express of Middlesboro. With nearly 60 rooms to choose from, fitness center, full complimentary hot breakfast bar, and seasonal pool, Holiday Inn Express of Middlesboro is all about catering to your travel needs. Our rooms are all equipped with flat screen TV, refrigerator, microwave, and we're conveniently located just seconds from the area's attractions. When you're on the road, stay smart at Holiday Inn Express, located on the Cumberland Gap Parkway, Middlesboro. Make reservations today by calling 606-248-6860.
I will help families adopt children from around the world and in our own backyard.
I am teaching ethics to the next generation of lawyers.
I will make a difference for the underserved of this region.
I will be an advocate for my clients.
As a prosecutor, I fought for those who couldn't speak for themselves.
I'm a lawyer and professor.
I will be a lawyer.
I will be a lawyer.
I will be a lawyer.
Welcome back. As we reported last week, university officials released a statement on June 27th. They had found Roger Hodge's successor and former Georgetown University assistant coach and recruiting coordinator Crystal Evans. While her duties with the Lincoln Memorial University women's basketball programs will be her first as a head coach, Evans is no stranger to NCAA basketball, with 2 seasons as a graduate assistant at Southern Miss, 9 seasons as an assistant coach at Gardner-Webb University, and most recently her 2 seasons with the Hoyas of Georgetown. Last week, LMU TV had the opportunity to sit down and talk with Coach Evans about what Lady Railsplitter fans can expect of her teams while she's at the helm.
I'm going to watch game film and evaluate each player individually and just go through and basically what I deem as their strengths and weaknesses based on a system that I want to run. And then I'm going to get in contact with them and let them know, you know, these are things that I want you to utilize more, and these are things that I want you to improve on, and kind of establish a role for each player, or something in my mind that I feel like they're going to be able to kind of add a piece to the puzzle, so to speak. So that's basically going to be my top priority, is just getting familiar with this team, getting familiar with the system that they ran previously. You know, you don't want to change everything, you know, just on total end of the spectrums. You want to keep some continuity, and I'm going to try my best to do that, but also at the same time, you know, with me getting my first shot, I want to run things in a way that, you know, I deem, and also a style that I'm comfortable with. So just basically learning them as a team as a whole, but also learning them as a part, as an individual, and just meeting with them and trying to improve on what they've already, the success that they've already had. Now, I told each one of them in the phone conversation, you know, look, I didn't accept this job to lose. So as long as me and you are on the same page, then I think we're going to be good to go. And I'm definitely just determined to bring championships to this program.
Evans becomes the 16th head coach of the LMU women's basketball program and the 4th in the past 7 years. When her team returns to campus for the 2014 fall semester, it will return 10 letter winners from last year's squad that finished the season with a 16-11 record. With so many returning faces from an already talented squad and a strong field of incoming players that may not yet be complete, Coach Evans is optimistic that the 2014-15 Lady Rail Splitters could hit the ground running and shooting with both barrels. On July 1st, the LMU Athletic Department also announced the new head coach for the Lincoln Memorial University Women's Lacrosse Program was Caitlin Carassi. Tuesday, officials with the LMU Athletics Department released that Carassi had been selected as the university's first ever women's lacrosse coach after spending last season as an assistant at Defiance College in Defiance, Ohio. While with the Yellow Jackets, Carassi was involved with all aspects of the program, specifically in player development, recruiting, in addition to serving as the team's defensive coordinator. The LMU women's lacrosse program won't play their first collegiate match until spring of 2015. When that event takes place, it'll be the first new sport introduced at LMU since women's golf in 1999. The addition of new coaches isn't the only news coming out of the Lincoln Memorial University Athletics office. According to the officials within the university, the house that Tex built is going to be getting an interior facelift to several features before the beginning of the 2014-15 school year that gets underway in late August. With more on that story, here's the LMU Sports Network's Rusty Peace.
2.5 decades, the Tex Turner Arena floor has undergone a new design and paint scheme at least twice, while being refinished more times than most with the athletics department can remember. The portable floor itself, however, has endured almost a quarter of a century of games, practices, and being disassembled and put back together again for various concerts and other events. Through all this activity, the surface has begun to show wear and tear, and as such, with the new fiscal year at hand, officials at LMU decided it was time to upgrade this feature of the facility.
After a couple of years of discussion, we've reached the point where we are going to, and are in the process now of changing the floor from a portable, which we've used for really more years than most. It's been good for us. But again, now going to a permanent floor, it's going to give us an entirely different structure for our kids to play on. The surface itself, being one piece, will have no dead spots, and certainly the ability to spring in terms of cushion should translate into fewer injuries and lower tendonitis, things like that in our players.
Since February 2nd, 1991, the Lincoln Memorial University men's and women's basketball teams have played their home games, both conference and non-conference, in the B. Frank Tex Turner Arena. Former Lady Rail Splitter All-American Debbie Green scored the first basket that night, and since then, nearly 40 all-conference players, 15 all-region selections, and 7 All-Americans have showcased their skills for the blue and gray while playing under 5 different men's and 4 women's head coaches and achieving a combined total of 444 victories and only 178 losses. The Tex Turner Arena's new floor will arrive a little bit later on this week, and when it does, it'll go through an acclimation stage here to get adjusted to the humidity here within the Tex Turner Arena itself. After it goes through that stage, it will then be pieced together like a puzzle, and all this will take place before the student-athletes return in late August to begin preseason practice for the 2014-15 season. Reporting for LMU TV and Tri-State News, I'm Rusty Peace.
Now that's all for sports. Now for what's going on in the world of entertainment. Here's Monique and Joe.
This week's useless trivia question is, what does Yoda from Star Wars and Miss Piggy from the Muppets have in common? Stay tuned to find out the answer. For our top entertainment stories, the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department confirmed that Indio Downey, the son of Robert Downey Jr., was arrested in West Hollywood, California on June 29th, Sunday afternoon, for cocaine possession. The arrest occurred after a traffic stop and investigation near the intersection of Santa Monica Boulevard and La Cienega. 20-year-old Indio was allegedly under the influence of drugs when deputies contacted him. He was released just after 12:30 a.m. on June 30th after posting a bail of $10,250. That Monday, Robert Downey Jr., who has also struggled with drug addiction in the past, issued a statement to TMZ saying, "Unfortunately, there's a genetic component to the addiction and Indio has likely inherited it. Also, there is a lot of family support and understanding, and we're all determined to rally behind him and help him become the man he's capable of being. We're grateful to the Sheriff's Department for their intervention and believe that Indio can become another recovery success story instead of a cautionary tale." The seemingly angelic Emma Watson is under investigation by UK immigration. On account of The Independent, Watson is being investigated by British immigration after officials claimed that she employed her American housekeeper illegally for 3 months in the UK. Allegedly, the Harry Potter star brought her maid to the UK on a tourist visa, which prohibits any foreign citizen from working in the UK. However, Watson's housekeeper was believed to be employed overseas from September 2013 to the beginning of February of 2014. The former child star could face up to $17,000 in fines if authorities discover that her housekeeper was indeed employed without proper work permits. She has yet to comment on these allegations. Bobby Christina has taken to Twitter on her frustrations about the upcoming biopic of her mother, the late Whitney Houston. The Lifetime movie film will be directed by Angela Bassett. In an interview with Entertainment Weekly, Bassett addressed why she never gave a second thought to casting Bobby Christina as Whitney. She said, "I did not think about casting her, and probably for a number of reasons. One being that she's not an actress. I know she's acted here and there. I know she's been on their family's reality show, but she's not an actress, and acting is a craft." The 21-year-old Bobby Christina took to Twitter with some very racy tweets, calling Bassett a basket case and a man. She also added that when she won her first Grammy or Oscar, Angela Bassett's name would be the first she would call out. It's still unclear if Bobby Christina even wanted to play the role of her late mother. Nonetheless, Yaya DaCosta will portray Whitney Houston in I Will Always Love You, the Whitney Houston story. It is set to premiere on Lifetime sometime in 2015. There's a new face joining the cast of CBS's Criminal Minds. It is one Jennifer Love Hewitt. Her character will be introduced to the crime series in the 10th season premiere set for this fall. The Ghost Whisperer actress will play Kate Callahan on Criminal Minds. According to Variety.com, her character is a seasoned undercover agent whose work at the FBI has landed her a position within the Behavioral Analysis Unit. Erica Messer, executive producer of the series, stated, "We're thrilled to introduce a new special agent by adding the very talented Jennifer Love Hewitt to our amazing cast. We have exciting storylines planned for her character and the entire BAU team as we head into our 10th season." The next season of Criminal Minds will bow October 1st at 9 p.m. on CBS. Next up is Joseph Lewis. Join him as he tells you what to expect on the silver screen.
I love kids. I'm responsible. Mama's coming, baby!
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent.
Hello, I'm Joseph Lewis, bringing you all the latest information in the world of movies. Tops at the box office last weekend included Transformers: Age of Extinction, placing once again at #1 with $36 million, bringing its total domestic gross to $175 million. Coming in at second place was comedy newcomer Tammy, opening with $21 million and already making back the majority of its production budget. And rounding out the top three was the horror film Deliver Us from Evil, starting its run with $9.5 million. Coming to theaters this week is Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, the follow-up to 2011's highly successful Rise of the Planet of the Apes. Directed by Matt Reeves of Cloverfield and Let Me In fame, the film takes place in a world debilitated by a lethal virus that leaves in its wake a limited number of survivors and a large number of genetically superior apes. From there, it is literally survival of the fittest as the two sides prepare for an all-out war. Lord of the Rings' Andy Serkis returns as Caesar, the commanding central figure of the previous film, and the world-weary band of humans features the considerable talents of Jason Clarke, Kerry Russell, and Gary Oldman. Dawn of the Planet of the Apes opens this Friday, July 11th. And opening in limited release this week is Boyhood, a new film from Richard Linklater of which it can truly be said was 12 years in the making. Shot as a series of short films from 2002 up to the present, Boyhood follows a young boy's progress from childhood to adulthood, charting the changes in his life throughout adolescence and tracking his ever-evolving relationship with his divorced parents. Eller Coltrane portrays the young boy, and Patricia Arquette and Ethan Hawke co-star as his mother and father. Boyhood can be seen in select theaters this Friday. Now playing in theaters is Deliver Us from Evil, which stars Eric Bana as a cop who teams up with a priest to solve a series of cases having to do with demonic possession. As far as its place in the horror genre goes, Deliver Us from Evil is something of an oddity. For about its first hour, the film plays more like an especially grisly episode of Law & Order than an actual horror movie, and the storytelling feels both contrived and confused. The film doesn't balance the police procedural elements with the horror particularly well, and when it does finally start to pay off, what takes place is nothing you haven't seen before in better movies like The Exorcist or director Scott Derrickson's own The Exorcism of Emily Rose. Quite unlike the moody and intense work he did with his previous film Sinister, Derrickson fails to create much in the way of a foreboding atmosphere, often relying on repetitive jump scares to provide the desired tension and release. To the film's credit, there are some ingenious uses of several classic songs by The Doors throughout, and Edgar Ramirez's sympathetic portrayal of the priest does lend the proceedings a sense of gravity they wouldn't have had otherwise. In a summer characterized mostly by creative, entertaining genre outings, Deliver Us from Evil is sadly inessential. Also playing this week is Tammy, which finds Melissa McCarthy losing her car, her job, and her husband all within the same week and hitting the road with her alcoholic grandmother, played by Susan Sarandon. As a comedy, Tammy is as much of an anomaly as Deliver Us from Evil was as a horror movie. Although McCarthy is her usual amusing self and gives it her all, one constantly gets the sense that she and her husband and co-writer Ben Falcone had originally intended to make a more dramatic road movie, perhaps something more akin to Alexander Payne's brilliant Sideways, a film it's impossible not to think of when actress Sandra Oh shows up during the final stretch. The broader bits feel at odds with the subtler, more heartfelt scenes peppered throughout Tammy, creating a peculiar tonal dissonance that keeps the film's comedic momentum from ever quite taking off. Familiar faces go a long way, however, and the film's supporting cast is stacked with them, including Kathy Bates, Mark Duplass, Dan Aykroyd, and several others, and these terrific screen presences make Tammy a more enjoyable experience than it might have been otherwise. And if you're looking for something else to watch this weekend, Tammy's Susan Sarandon can also be seen in Robot and Frank, now available for streaming on Netflix Instant. Frank Langella stars as Frank, a wealthy ex-thief beginning to suffer from dementia. After his overworked son purchases a highly functional robot to take care of him, Frank forms a close bond with the machine that leads to an unexpected return to pulling major heists. Sarandon plays the librarian on whom Frank has developed a bit of a crush, and Peter Sarsgaard Riley provides the voice of Frank's mechanical partner in crime. Robot and Frank is a truly unique take on the artificial intelligence plot, blending low-tech sci-fi with believable human drama. Langella's performance is at turns hilariously misanthropic and achingly poignant, and the film is similarly funny and heartfelt, its screenplay providing ample amounts of quirky humor and touching character moments. That's all for this week in the world of movies. I'm Joseph Lewis, and we'll be back after these messages.
I joined the National Guard and never thought I'd be saving lives.
I put on the uniform and I have a whole new outlook on life. Country, community, family. That's what matters most to me. If that matters to you, go to 1-800-GO-GUARD.com.
Thanks, Joe. In local entertainment, this weekend, music legend and Grammy Award-winning artists Willie Nelson and Alison Krauss will perform at the Thompson Bowling Arena. Their performance is part of a 35-city U.S. tour. The concert is set for Sunday, July 20th at 7 p.m. For more information and ticket prices, visit tbarena.com. Lexington, Kentucky is hosting the 78th Junior League Horse Show this week. This is the world's largest outdoor saddlebred horse show. Created in 1937, the horse show helps to fund the Junior League's community work projects. So far, the organization has raised over $4 million for charitable and civic organizations in Central Kentucky. To be a part of this event, visit www.lexjrleague.com. This Saturday, happening in Cumberland Gap, Tennessee, is the Cumberland Mountain Music Show. Featuring the music and heritage of the mountain people, the Cumberland Mountain Music Show is a live, family-friendly show including gospel, bluegrass, country music, and down-home comedy. For more information on this festivity, visit townofcumberlandgap.com/events. So, did you figure out the commonality between Yoda and Miss Piggy? You'll probably be surprised that these two characters were voiced by the same person, Frank Oz. Not only did he lend his voice to Yoda and Miss Piggy, but he also was the voice behind Bert, Grover, and the Cookie Monster from Sesame Street. That's all. Thank you for tuning in. This has been Monique Derico bringing the world of entertainment to you.
Thank you for joining us. For everyone behind the scenes, I'm Adam Haley.